What's up, everybody? Happy Friday evening. Hope all is well with you after a long week. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, hope all is well. Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you have not already. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And for those who prefer podcasts or like to do podcasts instead of YouTube, Apple people, please save us on Apple Podcasts. We would greatly appreciate it. And for you non-Apple folks like me, Spreaker.com is what I prefer. We have a great relationship with both. Please consider doing that. Also, listen, Devin, Nevada, they got with y'all last night about the breaking story from Justin Spiro. Craziness, more disgusting behavior and findings up north in Ann Arbor. We have a special guest, a super friend, to help us talk it through all the information with that tonight. We're going to get into that. Also, remember, when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Nevada Buck, man, what's up on this Friday? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm still nauseous from reading that story last night from the great Justin Spiro. Uh, has the story incredibly well documented. If you haven't read it, and you're interested in knowing what the shenanigans were up there in Michigan, go read it. But since he broke that story in less than 24 hours, Latroy Lewis was fired by the Atlanta Falcons today.
Yep.
So I mean, that shows you the impact of investigative journalism, of documenting. This isn't just some internet blather or some just podcast for bloviating and something. I mean, he did the work, did the research. Very, very careful guy, very, very smart guy. Did the work, and in less than 24 hours, a guy is out of the NFL based solely on the reporting of Justin Spiro. So it's kind of crazy that there was that kind of impact. And I would put that in stark contrast to the reactions from Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Michigan's internet community, nobody had the intellectual curiosity to follow up on this. They're not even citing him as a source on the story. Um, just like it's just amazing to me how how much inaction has come from that side, given the seriousness of this issue. This is an
Right.
issue of a rape survivor going to the head coach at Michigan, telling the story, and then he sexually harasses, assaults, whatever her on top of that. So I'm just having a hard time wrapping my mind around the whole thing. And I think the thing that I just keep coming back to, and I mentioned this last night, but I just keep coming back to this today, is had Shiron Moore prevailed in late November in Ann Arbor, this stuff would still be going on. And you know that, and I know that.
Yep. Flat out. And I heard you and Dev say that. I watched the show. Y'all did a great job. Great show last night. Yeah, you're spot on. You're absolutely right. And it's funny about the Michigan media. I notice because listen, look, I chop it up with Intrinsic just about every day. We got a group chat. Everybody got group chats. Well, me and Intrinsic are in a group chat with another good brother, and he really keeps me up on the stuff from his end of things. And the Michigan media, Nevada, their hand was finally forced to start tweeting about it and reporting it after the national media start catching wind of it. It's like, okay, we're gonna hold off as long as we can to not tell on our beloved Wolver Queens until our hand is forced, and then we have to save some face. And then so they start tweeting and reporting on stuff. And so I can't wait to get Justin. Justin will be hopping on. We're just waiting for him to come backstage. He'll be able to go into details about everything. But man, this again, like Nevada said, this is not um, somebody threw out a claim and there's just that it's just a claim. Like there is receipts and documentation. If you have not, and I saw the chat, I forget who said it, but they said it was a difficult read. It was. It is a difficult read. It's very raw. I mean, there's screenshots of text messages and comments and things like that. So it is a difficult read. But if you read it, you'll see what we mean when we say that this is not just a claim that was thrown out there, the internet rumor. Like this is very well vetted. And like Nevada said, he was fired by the Atlanta Falcons because of this work. And then speaking of that work, we got Justin here now. What's up, brother? I was just, responding to the people and to Nevada about the piece you wrote. And I was saying I caught up on it finally and read it. And I was just like, good Lord, man. I mean, how long have we been talking about this program for what, over a year now? I mean, with the Connor Stallion stuff, the Matt White stuff. I mean, we literally have been talking about like, what's next? What's next? This I mean, you got to be kidding me. Now this. And so, yeah, man, we were looking forward to having you on here, Justin, so you can really dive into this situation and how you spearheaded it. And now, breaking news, LaTroy Lewis is now fired from the Atlanta Falcons. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay. Obviously a crazy couple days here, and it's a difficult story to report and has been for some time. I mean, just to put things in proper context, so with what you're saying about, we've been talking about this for over a year or 2 years. Really, the institutional issues go all the way back to 2015 and coincide directly with Jim Harbaugh's arrival. Technically, he was announced as the head coach at Michigan on December 30th. 2014, but that technicality aside, let's say he got there in 2015, and since then they've averaged more than one criminal staffer a year. So you're looking at 7 arrests, multiple firings for sex crimes are alleged, some proven, some alleged. Obviously, the multiple bans for cheating, and when you look at that in scope, it's a lot bigger problem than the cheating window or the last year or two. It has been now at this point over a decade of nonstop issues up there. And, you can talk about rivalries or pointing the fingers or whatever. There's not anybody on the planet that in the history of college football, college athletics at large, they can compete with the sheer objective volume of the arrests of the staff. The staffers arrested, are fired rather in disgrace. The staffers banned for rules violations. I don't know of another program that has had 4 staffers at the same time receive show causes. There have been other cases with multiple, not 4 that I found. There's never been another program with 7 arrests. There's never been a program with multiple sex crime accusations among their staff. So really, you have to get into well beyond even the cheating window. It coincides directly with Jim Harbaugh's arrival. And even now that he is gone, the people that are continuing to get in legal trouble, and I guess it remains to be seen about the legal trouble with LaTroy Lewis. That's a police report. We'll see how that goes, but it's not a good situation. Obviously, Shiron was arrested. Even these examples that happened after Harbaugh left are people that are only at Michigan or wherever at Michigan because Harbaugh hired them. So they're all Jim Harbaugh hires, and obviously Harbaugh himself received a show cause. So it's really, to me, a referendum on the Harbaugh legacy, and I think it becomes more and more difficult. How do you, forget worship, embrace the guy, even like the guy if you're a Michigan person, that you have to enter into a state of borderline depravity, I would argue. And I remember what people did to the Buckeye fans with Urban Meyer, where you guys were ridiculed for how can you root for this guy because he didn't report a later, in my estimation, when the police agreed, debunked domestic violence allegation among his assistants. And based on that alone, you guys were ridiculed for continuing the sort of support a program led by a coach who didn't do anything himself and it involved an assistant staffer who was exonerated and was never charged with anything. So if that was a reason for you guys to be scumbags for continuing to support Urban Meyer, it begs the question, well, what are they supporting Jim Harbaugh and everything that he touched while there, with 7 staffers arrested, a staffer busted at Meyer trying to meet a minor for sex, a staffer accused, in my estimation, credibly of rape. It's one thing after another. So the scale of it is really startling. In this case is obviously in particular disturbing. I will say, there's a presumption of innocence in our legal system, and that's afforded to LaTroy Lewis like it is to all of us. And I think the process has to play out, but it's very disturbing. And I interviewed both parties, and I know which one I find credible.
Good stuff. Nevada, what's up, brother? What you got in response to what Justin just said?
Well, see, I have a slightly different view from Justin. Like, part of me just admires, the idea that when you do something, you just do it to the nth degree and you just do it great. And Michigan has taken douchebaggery to like a new level. And in some way,
Man.
we have to stand back in awe of what we've been witnessing here for the past 10, 11 years, because it's just been a consistent flow of arrests, illegal activity, civil violations, ethical concerns, I mean, it's just been a cavalcade. And so, like, part of me's kind of in awe of what we've seen here from Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh really is going to go down as the greatest in this area, and I think he's got to be commended. You know what I'm saying, like that. If you want to be, you got to be remembered for something. He's going to be remembered as the biggest douchebag that's ever coached in college football, and now he's gone to the NFL, and it's funny because there's like these reports out on the coach, evaluating the coaches and doing stuff, and he didn't rank really high in these anonymous player polls and things like that. So you just really wonder if all this stuff is kind of catching up with Harbaugh now, and is he, Justin, you're there behind enemy lines. We're safely ensconced in Ohio and in other states. Is he still a hero to that group? And where does he fall down on, on one end is the venerated thing, and the other is despised pariah. Where does he fall on the spectrum with Michigan fans right now?
I think it would be I would love to paint them with the meanest, broadest brush possible, because in some ways it's deserved. But in that, I think there's a general sense now, right in the wake of the title, it was Herald hero status. I think there is a general sense now, even among them, that this guy's not great. It's not great. And it really began pretty soon after he left. And it wasn't that he left. There was some resentment that he was perceived as taking all the staff with him and leaving the cupboard empty. Whatever you can think of that. To me, it's like, well, I see that side, but if I'm him, take the best coach to help you succeed at the next level. But just to be clear, I don't think Jim Harbaugh really cares about Michigan at all. That's pretty clear. You left them high and dry, left them in a terrible position. He was looking for the exit door multiple years in a row before he finally found someone that would take him. And even then, it was only because he was banned from the sport for 15 years. So I do get the sense that there's far from a reckoning. They haven't come to terms with the fact that he's a deviant, in my estimation, scumbag. But I don't think it's the sense of veneration, to use your term, that it was in the immediate wake, January 2024. So there's sort of an understanding, begrudging, like, yeah, we know he's not great, but man, that was a fun 3-year run. So, I mean, I wouldn't put him at an honorable sense of self-awareness, far from that. But even they are starting to kind of get it. Not like the Michigan leadership, they know. I mean, they even knew at the time when things were good. They, you got to remember, guys, the school funded the cheating scheme and covered it up. I have reported repeatedly, and I'm right about everything, Blake Corum lied about the LLC. They know that he lied. And if he wants to sue me, all that evidence that I've had to keep off the record, we'll see you in court, buddy. Yes. You're going down, and so are your wins. I'm telling you, I've seen the messages. I have tapes. I've shown a couple people these tapes, and I've told even people who it is publicly on Twitter. It's if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, go ask them if Justin Spiro was making that up. The school covered it up. The school knows. I have hard evidence of multiple layers of this. I have hard evidence of Corum, that Corum lied, and that they know he lied. So that's two parts, that he lied, and also the school knows that he lied. I have hard evidence that Tim Smith funded this thing in part, and that the school knows that Tim Smith funded it. So what does that tell you? Institutionally, they're kind of okay being scumbags and have been for a long time.
Yep.
And so I don't know if there's a reckoning for them as much. The fan base is a little bit different. But, you use the term douchebag. To me, that's like a douchey frat guy popping his collar, like back when I was a student at Michigan State. That's way too nice. I mean, you're talking about a level of depravity here. The sheer number, the 14 staffers, if you include Shemi Schembechler, who was there for 3 days, Michigan State fans uncovered his endorsements of slavery and Jim Crow. Jim Crow laws.
Yeah, I remember that mess.
And not that it would be okay in like 2011, like for a 12-year-old. That's kind of a dumb take for anybody at any point in time. But this was like 2 or 3 years before he was hired, and he was in his like 50s. I mean, I'm sorry. How do you miss that? Why is the Michigan State fan base better at vetting their employees than they are? So if you put him in, it's 14, and that doesn't include Mozzie Smith. They didn't punish him for felony weapons charges. Okay, so that's 15. Donovan Edwards, they covered up and lied and said it was a glitch on his Twitter. His Twitter glitched and made him go anti-Semite. What kind of a glitch is that? I mean, who was the hacker? Hitler? I mean, what are we talking about here? So now we're up to 16. There's things that I can't even tell you about that I'm not even get into it. The number's 18, really, about things that are cover-ups that I know about. I don't know everything. I know most things, but I don't know everything up there. So it's just there's such an institutional depravity, and some of this stuff, like some of the arrests are DUIs, not great, whatever. But like some of them are attacking like police officers, biting police officers, rape, trying to attempted child rape. I mean, we're not talking about like the jaywalking of issues here. So like institutionally, you have to look, and it's like, I'm never going to kill someone for like an institution, I should say, for, 1 or 2, 3, 4 issues, even over the course of time. But when you got almost 24, and most of these guys aren't even punished until after I report something, it's what are we doing here? So I don't know. It's disenchanting if you care about, human beings at all, because there's victims in this stuff, unfortunately.
Nevada, did you want to respond immediately before I respond? Because I got to show something on the screen.
No, go. You go. I just I didn't want my laughing to not be heard, because whenever Justin talks and he cracks me up, that I have to crack up, and I wanted to share my my mirth with everybody.
I don't even know which part you're laughing at. The whole thing's kind of a joke, really. I mean, sometimes you laugh so you don't cry. Look, like at the end of the day, guys, I would rather have them behave, because I'm kind of tired. I really am. Like it's fun, I would say it's rewarding. How about that? It's rewarding to hold them accountable. But if it's all else is the same, all else is equal, I'd rather they just stop raping people. Ideally, can we stop trying to meet minors for sex at Walmart? Like I want them to stop doing this stuff, and they're not going to. And I'm the only one that even tries to report this stuff. And I'm so burned out on it, guys, because I have more on them breaking news wise on their scandals than the entire media in this state combined. And that's not an exaggeration. And by the way, if anybody breaks their first, they'll also have more than the rest of the media besides me combined, because their score is 0. I don't know how you sit around all day long. I don't know what these people are doing. This is not my job. I don't get paid to do this. In my free time, when I'm walking my dog on the phone, I can do more than this entire media combined. And I'm not that smart. Okay. They don't care. They don't want to find it. I can't tell you how many reporters I've messaged saying, I have the proof. Let me show it to you. They don't want to look at it, or they'll look at it and they won't do anything. So I'm getting kind of tired, but don't worry. I'm not out of gas yet. And these people better be real careful with some of the stuff they're saying, because I have plenty of temptation to start pushing my own level of integrity about sources and what some of these people are saying, because I have sources on that quorum stuff that are starting to say some things that I don't like, and they're betraying some trust on my end. So they better watch their mouths. And I'm not going to say who, but those 2 people know who they are. Watch your mouths, because I will burn you and I'll take your title with it. So be very careful. I'm getting tired of it. Like, this is an alleged rape victim that we're talking about that was, in my estimation, brutalized. We'll see what the legal system plays out there. That's what the evidence seems to show to me. And I know that this is a person that I interviewed, the accused, that, his comments are off the record, and I'm not going to betray that. I'm going to honor that as a journalist, but I'll say I did not find him credible, and I found him caught in multiple lies. So, I know who I believe, but, the judicial system is going to play out. But this is not like fun and games. Like, as bad as the cheating was, and we talked about the real life implications about this is so much worse. And, I've seen, having extensive experience over the past couple months and reporting on this and working on it and the Shiron stuff, I've seen a lot of trauma inflicted here. And it's a bad scene, guys. It's really disgusting to me.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And before I throw what I'm going to throw on the screen, because you be saying a lot, man, and my mind get going. I'm like, I got to respond to that, got to respond to that, got to respond to that. But I'll just quickly say that I pray on behalf of everyone that these people continue to irritate your soul, that these sources continue to rub you the wrong. Bro, listen, Justin, I got a homie named Dewan. And we've made a little he made a little phrase that he always says. He even hashtags it, and he says, yo, what's up with them LLCs, bro? Like, that's what we know. That is the key to really destroying their fake natty. We know their natty's fake. We know, despite what the NCAA didn't do because they destroy evidence, so they said they couldn't have it, whatever. You know, they're not going to give them the 2-year bowl ban they actually require because of the kids, all that crap. The LLCs would absolutely destroy and level that situation. So I pray, because it's just justice. It's right. It's the right thing to do, number one. So I wanted to say that. In regards
Michigan State, real quick, Michigan State
go ahead.
vacated wins because they paid for some plane tickets. Okay,
bro.
You're talking about the LLC, which is completely, that's true. That's the one's, sort of silver bullet. But there's actually a second silver bullet. Tim Smith paying for it. And I have said it. He's threatened lawsuits. I've dared him to sue me, just like I dared Shiron to sue me, just like I dare anybody to sue me that I report on. You know why they never do? Because I'm right and I know what I'm doing. So it could go down on two fronts. If the school paid for it, which they did, they can go away on that. If there was an impermissible relationship business-wise with a staffer, which there was, it can go away for that. So there's actually two things that could take them down. And I have evidence of both of them, but it's off the record. But I'm just saying I can't elaborate. And it's specifically with the quorum part, to be clear. There's kind of two different things here. There's some people that need to watch what they're saying, because if you undo the bond, I don't owe my loyalty to you on my word either. So if you break that, if you break our agreement, the agreement's done, and I'll just publish what I got and see you later. Okay. Because I got smoking gun evidence, and you want to doubt what I have to say, I'm right every single time. And I've been vindicated time and time again. And even if I don't have to go that route and don't have to burn anybody or find anything new, there's plenty of ways in the other lane. I have evidence on both. I only need one or the other. And there's other people working on it. I'll put it that way too. I've gotten a lot of messages in the last 24 hours. So I'm not making any promises, but I'm not the guy you want to bet against working on it, because I get pretty much what I want when I'm looking for it, and I'm working on it. And so they better be careful. Don't give me any extra motivation, because I'm pretty fired up. This rape allegation really pisses me off. It pisses me off. And the whole thing is sick to me.
Nevada, jump in, brother.
Well, you must have been terrified, though, then when you were doing this research and you saw Shiron Moore actually call you out in these text messages there for this thing about the white girl pond and everything like that. And so a scale of 1 to 10, how terrified are you? 10 being the most terrified you've ever been, 1 not at all. Where did you fall on the 1 to 10? Shiron Moore scared me with his threatening to sue me.
I was at an 11. Yeah, I mean, it was. I was like Carmen Electra in Scary Movie, just like screaming down the lawn, getting my chest stabbed. I could not have been more petrified. By the way, I had caught wind that he was blustering about suing me, and openly tweeted this before anything hit the fan, saying, hey, I dared him. I openly dared him. You can find the tweet. I'll send it to you. I openly dared him to sue him. Said, go ahead, because guess what, partner? Then I get discovery, and then you can get discovery, and then you're going to run for the hills, because there's some problems that they don't want uncovered that I haven't even talked about yet, including the quorum stuff, which I better watch what I say. Let's just say that there's some overlap there with his involvement in the whole CMU stuff. Did I say too much? These people got nothing. Okay. So they got nothing. They're never going to sue me. And if they do, they're going to lose, because you know why? Because I'm smarter than them. And I went to law school and got my MBA and went to one of the best journalism schools in the world. And I know what I'm doing. I know, even on this case, now I believe the accuser, but even if, she were making it up in this hypothetical world, not going to be able to touch me, because we laid it out in a very particular way and, used all the right terms. So, that's the responsible thing to do. And I do believe in a presumption of innocence, but I can tell you what I think based on the evidence, and it doesn't look good. But it's just their whole thing is ridiculous. So I was an 11 out of 10. I was petrified, that's for sure. And we had a great appearance. I wanted to ask you guys, we talked about it via text a little bit. Did you guys get a kick out of the fact that Shiron was talking about the Buckeye Scoop appearance and was trashing us? Did you guys enjoy that?
Made my day. That was so awesome. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I gotta see it. Did you pull the clip? That was my condition of hearing.
Yes, the clip is ready, queued up, and ready to go. But before we show the clip, Justin, you watch this show enough. You know I'm a crazy meme guy. Nevada, I literally just made a meme right here on the air, really quickly.
This is unbelievable. B.
So this is the introduce the video right here. This is the introduction to the famous clip that Shiron Moore referenced in his tweet.
I love it. Yeah, this is great. Are you setting this up or should I?
No, I got to pull it. I'm about to pull it right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen on my I'm going to use my X account. I already got it set up. So here we go. This right here, again, this is what Shiron Moore was referencing when Justin was on Buckeye Scoop, and he just blew me in the Nevada back with this blind pond comment. Here we go.
Going to come out eventually with or without me, and then that might get you more to the 6 to 8 week timeline. So there's a lot going on here, which is what happens when you got your toes in many different white blonde girl ponds.
Oh no! Oh no! You didn't go there! Oh no!
Shiron Moore has a type. They are white blonde women. They are all white blonde. They're all white blonde women.
No,
that is it's hilarious, Justin, because you were cooking, giving information, and then you
high road,
end it with that. Listen, that's hilarious. But
he has a type. It's not low road.
That's part of the reporting. That's his type. I'm sorry, but it's when I'm up to my fifth woman I've talked to, and they're all between the ages of 25 to 38, 39, and they're all skinny blonde white women. He has a type, and that he's allowed to have a type, but it's certainly unbecoming to be trying to meet up for dinner with various. Have I said too much?
Oh no.
Well, let's just say I've seen some of these exchanges personally, and
I think you're channeling your instinct.
All right.
So this is what he's mad about. So what happens is in the context here for the article, and I think you're pulling him right. Shiron is asked in this conversation from a person that hears this interview on Buckeye Scoop or sees the clip. Hey, what's this about all these white blonde girl ponds thing? And he, if you want to show it, aggressively denies it and calls me a fake reporter.
Yep. So here's the screenshots from the actual story that Spiro posted.
Can you guys do voices for this? Like one of you, like B Moses, you do like the bright blue, and then Justin does like Shiron Moore or something like that, and you guys do it. So that way we kind of feel like it's kind of like a documentary style type of reading on this thing.
Let me see, Justin. Do you want to do? Well, the bright blue is the woman, right?
Victim, the woman,
the victim.
Yes.
And then okay, so I can do Shiron Moore.
Okay, you can do Shiron Moore. Okay, okay, this is awesome. Super.
I'm not doing like a girly voice, so it'll get cropped. All right, cut up. All right, are you ready for this? Okay, okay. So they're talking about the episode. Are you gonna listen to it?
No.
Did Ohio State actually file a complaint with the Big Ten that we tampered with their headset devices?
No.
Welp.
Yeah, just nuts by my lawyers, and people all are over and ready to attack this dude from all angles if he tries something stupid. He is a fake reporter with 27,000 followers trying to get a rise and create bullish. So all I can do is work hard to win and stay out the way,
And do you have the other one? I think the other one was actually before, but
this is some of the greatest cinema that I've ever done. Honestly, this is.
I can't even read this one. You're gonna have to zoom that one in if I'm doing a script reading.
Let me see. I don't know if I can.
We've got a table read here, and we need to get some bifocals for Justin.
I mean, it's okay. You can kind of see the gist of it. Basically.
Yeah, it won't get any bigger.
he's blaming it on signing day here, and that's what he's saying. And he's saying, my lawyers are on it and ready for him. He can say whatever he wants, but we have a hold of national media. Which, boy, was that interesting. I mean,
I want let's not let that one go by. Let's not that one go by.
All right, I'll pick up from there. Let's start where it says.
Can you read it in that voice? Read it in that voice about the national media, because I want to hear the voice, and then we can drill down a little bit on that.
No, where is the national media part? Okay, I got it.
Okay.
No, there is no one I talked to. So it could be someone just saying it as a person making up a lie. You told her story. There's no name. They are just making up stuff. My lawyers are on it and ready for it, bro. All so he can say what he wants, but we have a hold of real national media. It's all because we lost. Because after Maryland, they were not doing this.
He's not wrong about one thing. If they were winning more, they're burying a lot of the stuff. But the thing is, I wouldn't be burying it. I'd be reporting it all the same. And I was the only one reporting this anyway. But the school's internal investigations, which, by the way, we talked about on that episode that they're referring to. I said if they had beaten you guys, they're not pushing this investigation forward. So I mean, it's fine. People are like, oh, Spiro didn't actually report anything. He was just like, trafficking in rumors. I said on your show he was going to be fired. And there are two different timelines. One is going to be within about a week or so, or 6 to 8 weeks, depending on which of the two similar but different scandals were going to take him out. He got fired 9 days later. So it's like another brilliant guess by Justin, who just somehow guesses right on everything. I'm clairvoyant. But you want to talk about the national media thing, Nevada? Are you into the conspiracy that you think they have a hold on them? Is that where you're going with that?
Well, when I read that, it was kind of like that. That was a something to me. When I read that, I was like, what do you think he meant by that? And what is he trying to convey? Because the implications of that seemed a little ominous, and I wasn't quite sure where he was going with Shiron Moore. First of all, I will preface everything by saying we don't know what's a lie and I'm not sure if he knows what's a lie and what's true. So that with that disclaimer, what do you think he was trying to say with that, Justin?
I think he was trying to say that I'm the only one saying it. I don't even know if he meant national, as opposed to regional, like the Detroit News or the Ann Arbor News or something like that. I think it was more just in general contrasting the entire media against me. So, that was my impression. But again, like you said it, can't put any credibility behind anything that guy says in either direction. And even if there was some grand conspiracy, I promise you this guy's way too stupid to operate it. Because this is one of the dumbest human beings I've ever dealt with. How he got into that position is beyond me. There's other smart people all over the country and on other staffs. How this guy got that job. You want to talk about Harbaugh's legacy? Thanks for that turd sandwich. I mean, oh my God, this guy was so in over his head in that position. And it's like for all of Mel Tucker's issues at Michigan State, and they both had to go. Mel Tucker had the machine tight within the staff, and there wasn't this sort of operational, organizational total chaos. Okay, it's Shiron didn't know how to do anything. I mean, nothing. Absolutely, the guy was totally in over his head, and that was part of the reporting on this that we haven't gotten into so much that I'm probably going to do in a part 2 is LaTroy Lewis was ripping Shiron Moore behind his back to the victim, and from what I've heard to other people as well. And it's one of the only things that I really believe him on, because there's plenty to rip him on. I was reporting on that stuff too. It's a weird dynamic here where LaTroy Lewis and Shiron, I think Shiron thought LaTroy liked him. I have multiple messages. It'll probably be in some kind of part 2. They're not off the record. I'm welcome to publish them whenever I want from the accuser here. He's just ripping Shiron and saying this is not what I signed up for, things like that. And it's just that there's the operational chaos there was absurd. This is a total crap show. I know I can't swear on this show. Total crap show there. And, it's just, it does beg the question, how does he get there in the first place? How am I reporting back in early 2024, 3-4 games into his tenure, that this isn't going to work because the building is in total disarray operationally? It's bizarre. I don't know how they keep stubbing their toe like this and getting in these situations. Maybe that's why they went and hired a Mormon that wanted to retire. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Well, but the things that's so ominous about this is, as good as your reporting is, as well documented as many people knew about the operational chaos and the skullduggery and the potential blackmailing of the coach and the paid shivers feta cheese pizza at the Little Brown Jug, or all this stuff, he'd still be the coach there if they happen to win that football game at the end of November. And you know that, and I know that, because there is no way on God's green earth, and with all due respect to your reporting and the power of the internet and all the stuff, they would not have fired him under any condition if he'd beaten Ohio State again.
I disagree. He would have definitely been there longer because the law, and we talked about that at the time.
Would he be the head coach now? 90 days hence, would he be the head coach?
Yeah, he would be. Or no, he would not. He would be fired. I mean, yeah, he would
by
be
now
because
of the timeline.
You think they would fire?
That's 6 to 8 weeks. Well,
Man,
here's the problem. They had an investigation that was 6 to 8 weeks, and then that was like 9 days later. So I don't know, 4.5 to 6.5 weeks, something like that left. And I know what that investigation was going to find. And frankly, I was going to preempt the investigation and publish it myself. So that's like on your show. And I was originally talking about the two timelines. I knew the Paige Shiver stuff. And I even said on that show, if you recall, if you pull the tape, I said, it's kind of up to me when he goes down because I already had it. So I published it whenever I wanted, but there were some loose ends I was vetting and tying up, and not for accuracy as much as just being thorough. And, so he was probably going to go down a week or two later. And even if somehow he didn't, have we talked about why Paige Shiver changed her mind about her story and cooperating? You want that breaking news? Okay, so her dad was contacted by someone at Michigan. He's a scout, a longtime scout in NFL circles. Mutual football contacts is contacted and is told that we can't get NIL money because they've all heard these rumors now about Shiron's issues and me reporting. They're terrified about what I'm saying, and so they were not getting donor funds for NIL contracts that they needed, and so basically the donors went to the school and said, you got to get this guy out of here. Ward Manuel flat out said, the girl's denying it. He's denying it. The investigation, the sort of second investigation is ongoing now. They initially looked and didn't find anything, but they looked at their school phones, not their personal phones, which they have no right to look at. So basically Ward said, I can't do anything. And then went back and relayed that to the figure that knew Paige Shiver's dad. So Paige Shiver's dad gets a call saying, look, I don't know if you know this, but your daughter's involved in this affair and it's holding up the whole program. It's going to ruin her, whatever. He, I think, drives or flies, whatever it is, to Michigan, meets her at her home in her residence in Ann Arbor. I don't know what happens in that conversation, but obviously he somehow convinces her to come forward. The next day she walks into the athletic office with the proof from her private phone of the affair. That's why she flipped, because Michigan couldn't. She was told by her dad, Michigan was sort of over a barrel and that it would be better for her to come forward. Now, it doesn't mean she lied about anything, but, to her, the incentive to continue the facade was gone. And so I don't think I've ever really gone into detail about that anywhere, but I'm happy to do it right here with you. So that's why, for those wondering, why did she suddenly come forward? That's why, because it was holding up the entire program. Everyone knew he was going to go down eventually, so delaying it a week or so wasn't going to make a difference. And whatever appeal was made to her dad, and then she made, I don't know what their conversation was. There was only two people in the room, it was from my understanding. But whatever was said was effective, and she, in my estimation, did the right thing and came forward.
Nevada?
It's just, it's one of these hypotheticals that's unknowable, but man, I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time reconciling a win at any cost program would fire that guy if he was undefeated against Ohio State. I think somehow, some way they would have buried otherwise I mean, I think all these things became actionable once he lost that game. You know, the stuff about the donors. I mean, all this stuff. You know, it became live once the clock went to 0 and it was 27-9 or whatever it was. Because I would have a hard time. And again, we'll never know. And you're a lot closer to an I am. But man, seeing what I'm seeing from afar and what I know about Michigan, I have a hard time seeing them running a seemingly successful coach, especially against a rival, because that would have been one of the biggest upsets ever for them to run that coach, because they would have thought that he had the Midas touch, that he was the chosen one, that he was the undefeated Shiron Moore. Because we all knew he was a buffoon. We've
but
been
how
saying
does
that for years.
Sorry, Nevada, and I know you're saying
Yeah.
you did introduce the caveat that it's unprovable, which I agree. We're in an alternate hypothetical universe. I'm not going to pretend like I definitely know, but I'm pretty. How do you keep them if I report with receipts these types of exchanges that you saw in this article with multiple women in that case? Because part of the reason the women backed off that I talked to that were kind of reticent is because he was gone anyway, and they felt like, okay, he's already gone. He's been held accountable, and they didn't. This was not a case of a physical assault or anything like that, where they weren't that eager to get justice on that level. So and some of the women were off the record the whole way through. But how do you keep them when I have multiple people and he's saying come here and ask my D and all this? Come on, how do you keep him?
He's a sex addict and he's seeking treatment. And we're all behind him because sex addiction is a terrible thing and it afflicts millions of American men. And we're going to be here to stand behind him in terms of,
You're more cynical than I am. But the thing is, they knew he was a bad coach. Like nobody up there were, I'll tell you this. Okay. One person in particular up there that I talked to was like, man, that Ohio State win in 24 was fun. But I think it covered up the fact that, like, oh yeah, he's a terrible coach. Like, it just basically he said what I've been saying. I said, if Ohio State's kicker goes 1 for 2 on chip shot field goals, like, we all think Sharon's terrible and he might already be gone. I mean, that's how bad he was. I mean, so they're coming into this thinking he kind of sucks anyway. And they got embarrassed by the only 2 good teams they played before you guys. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's unprovable, but I don't know how you keep him when I publish what I publish when they already think he's kind of a joke anyway. And again, that doesn't even get into, like, the Athletic reported on, and the Detroit Free Press had their own report too. Wink Martindale quotes, or not quotes, but stories, from other sources about Wink, how he would berate Wink Martindale in the hallway. And Wink's like, I'm trying to help you. And he was berating staffers, even with Troy Lewis. I've seen the evidence, and I won't say what he said off the record, but I've seen the evidence of what he was saying. There's so much chaos anyway. I don't think the Ohio State win was going to save them when I'm publishing documented sexual harassment across multiple women trying to meet women on recruiting trips. I just disagree. But whatever the case, look, I'm not going to die on the hill of, hey, Michigan will do what they have to do or do the right thing. So I can't call you crazy. If it were anybody else, you'd be crazy. With this institution, I can't call you crazy for that take. I can't. I mean, look who we're talking about. This is the biggest cesspool in the, like, okay, take a knife, okay? Not a butter knife, like an actual.
No, but I was going to say butter knife.
No butter knife. This one needs to actually cut, okay? Because this is a big, thick, rotten carcass. The butter knife's not going to get it done. You need a machete. Take a machete and cut down this rotted, corrupt temple in half. Cut their scandals in half. Okay, take out half the arrests, half the show causes, half the rape allegations, half the pedophiles. Cut it in half. Okay, they still have by far the most scandals in the country in the last 10 years, by far. So not only are they the worst, they were the worst a factor of over 2 ago. I think they're probably the worst, maybe not by far, but I'm talking about objective arrests. Fired for impropriety. I'm not talking about ambiguities. I'm talking about facts. If you put it on an Excel spreadsheet, I think you could cut it by 2/3 and they would still rank first. You are talking about the most corrupt institution, not just in modern times, by far, by objective measure. And that does not even include all the stuff that they were never punished for. Ozzie Smith, Donovan Edwards, et cetera, et cetera. So long story short, no, I don't think you're crazy. I'll believe anything. I'll believe they'll do anything. They're saying that they were shocked. We are shocked and appalled at these rape allegations. What a terrible story. They knew about it 41 days ago. You know how I know? Because I've read the letter from the attorney that went to their general counsel. Okay? They knew about this 41 days ago. So they weren't appalled. They were appalled that I reported it. That's what it is. And I'm not saying every single individual member of the trustees or the regents in their case was aware, because I don't think that is the case. But that's not my problem or the public's problem. If they have an institute, okay, the general counsel is a mandatory reporter for the University of Michigan. Okay, that is a Title IX law. Guess who didn't report it? Okay, guess who didn't report it when they were told at least 41 days ago? Even their attorneys are corrupt. It seems like. I don't know how else to interpret it. I mean, either inept, corrupt. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to slander the guy's name, but whatever he did, it's not what you're supposed to do, it seems to me. So I don't know, but I'm not going to put anything past them. But here's the problem. How can we ever trust them to get anything right? Why is Ward Manuel still there? Now, I think the new president is going to get rid of Ward in like 2 months. That's where the winds are blowing. But I'll believe it when I see it, because you want to talk about a cockroach. That guy should have been fired like 12 scandals ago.
Right. And real quick, and first of all, before I read this is from your Twitter as well, but I saw you respond to the lady. I think she was a trustee or not trustee, Board of Regents member.
Regent.
Yeah, who came out and said, "We're disgusted and appalled by this," and and you responded like, "Yo, what? You could have reported this." Right,
41
exactly.
days. And
it's crazy.
You know what the general counsel's so I'm paraphrasing response to this, their whole reaction was, oh, well, the rape didn't occur on campus, so not our problem. That's basically what it was. I mean, it was a little more legalese than that, but that was their general tenure. Did you see the statement released by the attorney of the accuser? Oh, my God, she buries him. And you know what? Take it from someone who's the principal and only reporter on this story. It's accurate. That statement is scathing.
I didn't see it. Did you post it?
I did. I quote tweeted it and said, like, this is an annihilation or something like that. Yeah, go read it. It is really brutal and aggressive. The attorney is directly responding to the statement by Michigan, and then, feigning surprise and all this stuff. And it's like, I emailed them or sent them a legal, like, official letter on January 17th. What do you mean you're surprised? And the attorney just kills him in this letter. And I've seen the documents. I'm telling you, it's all true. Everything she says in there is accurate.
Hey, Nevada, you want to jump in?
Well, I guess I've got a couple of questions. One, with Michigan kind of going the way that they're going right now, so you're saying you've got 2 months for Ward Manuel to get this. So you're saying that the internal law investigation review cultural report card, whatever you say, you think the timeline on that is like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, and you think at the end of that results in Ward Manuel going down the river? Because that's always been my view, is that this was strictly procedural. They're trying to fire him for cause and be able to get out of a lot of his contract, because he had just signed a new contract, and it seems like this was a financial thing. Does that align with what you're hearing from your end as well, Justin?
Well, let's say the investigation just didn't exist. I still think he would be on the way out, because I gotta check the dates on this, but my understanding, give or take 20 days, like it's sometime in May, I believe, that their new president is supposed to take over, and that new president has indicated to some people up there, because there's a lot of people up there that are like, we got to get rid of this guy, meaning Ward, and the president has requested, like, let me do it when I get up there, kind of thing. And that doesn't seem to have any ties to the investigation. So it could be either one. And this guy, it's just like Shiron. It could go this way, that way. He could be gone for one of two reasons. I'm not saying he's definitively gone, but what I can say is that the president's intent, as communicated to multiple leaders up there, is to get rid of him when the president is, I don't know if it's sworn in or enshrined. I don't know what the terminology is for a university president, but whenever they're made official and fully taking over, which I believe is in May, but that's something anyone could look up. I mean, it's not like a secret when they're supposed to take over. I'm not saying it'll be the first day, but like pretty soon after, the president's intent is to remove Ward. But at the same time, there is this other investigation going on. I'm always dubious about those. They don't tend to reveal much, like when you're paying someone to investigate you. I mean, even with the Mel Pearson thing with Ward Manuel, the university came back, the investigation came back. It was the university's own funded investigation saying that they had a toxic culture and that they faked COVID test results to keep the team eligible for the Frozen Four. And Ward didn't fire him, didn't fire the coach that did all this stuff. So it's like, who knows? But we don't know what that report's going to find. If it's an honest report, I'm sure it'll find plenty. So let's say they get the report back in 6 weeks and it has Ward doing all this terrible stuff. Well, then he's gone. So he could be gone for one of two reasons. I, for the record, will believe it when I see it, because how he's still there at all. But I can tell you as a fact that the incoming president has communicated to people that Ward's not going to be long for the job. I don't know. You're talking about firing and saving the money. I think they're going to be happy to just pay him most of it, pay him a lot of it. And they may even have to have some kind of NDA confidential thing above that, because this is a guy who knows where the bodies are buried, metaphorically. This is a guy who's not only involved in a lot of these scandals, he knows about a lot of them. And I don't know. I mean, if he wants to go nuclear, he sure could, because I know some of the stuff that he knows. He knows about a lot of the stuff I said about Corum and Tim Smith, for example. So if they're going to fire him, throw him out and say, hey, we're not paying you, he could say, I'm going to take your titles. He might even call me. I might be working with Ward here in 2 months. Crazier things have happened. I mean, we saw the NCAA write a 54-page document. It was the most crucifying document I've ever read. And then the second to last sentence is, JK, we're not punishing him for it. So I don't know. I mean, anything could happen in college athletics, but it's not looking good for Ward. And that's coming from me, who thinks he's invincible. I'll believe it when I see it. Like you got to put 20 metaphorical bullets in the guy's career, and I got to see the body not move for like at least 3 hours before I'm convinced he's done. But that is what I'm told. I'll believe it when I see it, but that's what I'm told.
Second question. I just got a second question real quick, and then I know I'm monopolizing our time with Justin, but I got to ask him.
All good,
so how many greater than 10 or less than 10 times that you've witnessed Michigan State players smoking dope in the Michigan State locker room? Is that an unusual occurrence for a college football team, or is that a normal occurrence?
I mean, can we take Michigan State out of it? How about every other school combined? Zero. Like, as usual, they trump everyone else combined. Yeah, I think the number is 0. If it has happened, not in East Lansing or in Chapel Hill, my other alma mater.
Yeah, we thought that was pretty notable as well. We're like, and nobody even seemed to care. But yeah. So they're hot boxing in the locker room. And we're like, that just seemed a little unusual. But I guess it's just
no one cares about weed. But it's honestly, I would be more mad as a Michigan person. Like he is my best friend, best man at my wedding. Hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Jack Johnson, he's a former pro hockey player, played at Michigan, 3rd overall pick. He's one of the best athletes ever there. He heard about that from me and was like, I would be pissed at them if I were the coach. He's like, I'm mad that they're doing that. Like, where's the respect for the tradition of the program? So, like, it's one of those things where they're telling us not to care, but like, why don't you care? That was coming from him. That's a Michigan guy. I mean, he's diehard Michigan. He lives, with you guys down in Ohio and in Dublin, but because that's where his wife's from and all that. But that's coming from him. It's like, why aren't they more mad about that? That was my takeaway from that. It's like, aren't you guys like, I don't know. I don't want my team doing it.
Yeah. Occasionally you'll find 1 out of 50,000 Michigan fans who are sane and have some type of integrity. Here's one of them I found. How does this keep happening? As a proud alumni of this university, I have absolutely zero faith anyone in leadership in that athletics department is capable of not only vetting coaching hires, but monitoring their behavior while representing our university. I saw that comment, Justin. I believe that was on one of your threads of like one of your posts or something, and I was shocked because that's what you think you would see, like riddled throughout all these comments. And just for contrast, real quick, Justin and Nevada and everybody, we talk about this all the time, Justin. I know you've taken a blowtorch to Trestle and Tatgate and all the Michigan fans trying to make it seem like we're just a filthy program. You've been masterful chef's kiss with that. Just to give you contrast of our media and our fan base, the fans, Justin, here in Columbus, you would have thought we did at least half of the stuff that Michigan has been doing with the reactions from our media and fans about tattoos, bro. Tattoos. So when you talk about accountability and, you know, just wanting your program to be a certain standard, you know, as far as ethically, morally, it's not even close. It's not even close. If this stuff was going on in Ohio, I live in Columbus, Justin, born and raised, been here all my life. I know this place. If this stuff was going on from the hot boxing to the whatever, Columbus media would be on fire right now, and they would not be out to protect them. They will be out to try to get them and find more stories and dig up more stuff. You right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just stating a fact. And so it still blows my mind when you guys like you and Intrinsic who are up there talk about the blue wall. I've heard about the blue wall for years. But, bro, after these past couple of years, I've received a revelation of what y'all have been saying about the blue wall because it's just mind-blowing. So I just wanted to say that. But kudos to that.
I have to jump in, though. Mel
that.
Tucker's 2021 $95 million extension, which everybody would have given him at the time he was on a plane to LSU otherwise, okay? And he was 8-0 in year 2 of a mess rebuild, okay? That was funded. The difference between the original contract and the raise was funded entirely by 2 billionaire donor alums at Michigan State. They went half and half, which was said that they were doing, and funded the extension. The Detroit media sued Michigan State and hounded them for like a year and a half about the redacted part of his deal because they wanted confidence. They basically, the billionaires were actually shy and bashful and didn't want people to know. But it was just, I'm not even saying it's not newsworthy, but how do you sue Michigan State University because you demand to know which of the 2 billionaires paid the bigger half? It turns out they were equal, like exactly was said from day one. But how do you sue the school and write column after column after column and report after report after report about that? And then I contact you with proof of cheating that should blow up the whole run, and they don't even care. They have zero interest at all, or they'll look at it and just move on.
Wow.
I have to do everything. So you talk about like Ohio State, how they would be treated. Yes. And we saw that. Again, the Urban Meyer thing with Zach Smith, people don't know what happened there. The woman's own family said she wasn't telling the truth. The police found her not credible. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. But we're burying the guy on one alleged and later exonerated assistant. And this guy up in Ann Arbor is running a complete cesspool of ghouls. And like, we're cool with that. And we're suing Michigan State to find out who donated more, which billionaire paid the bigger piece of the pie. This is insanity. Do you remember what you talk about Tattoo Gate? Who reported Ohio State to the NCAA? Do you remember?
It was Ohio
State.
Ohio State, you self-reported. You would have gotten away with it. Yeah. Michigan State, we just got vacated wins. Self-report. I happen to know for a fact we would have never been caught, ever. We were good. We did the right thing. Ohio State, you guys turned yourselves in. Michigan hasn't turned themselves in. They haven't turned themselves in. They don't even turn themselves into the police when there's a warrant out for their arrest, let alone turn themselves in for tattoo violations. So, like, what are we talking about here? Even if you think Tattoo Gate was so bad and you think paying for a recruit's plane ticket is so bad or whatever, at least they told on themselves and reported it. That's more than they can say. But the media is so bad, except for me. I'm the only good one in terms of the Michigan because I'm the only one that reports anything up here. It's crazy. Like Wetzel will come in, on a parachute every now and then, Thamel, Dellinger. But in terms of people that like live here and they're like local reporters, it's me and people 6 miles trailing me. I'm not. I wish that weren't the case. I want to pass off the baton, but no one's going to pick it up if I put it down.
That's crazy. But none of that matters, Justin, because Michigan fans have cool memes saying that Michigan State and Ohio State have vacated wins and they don't. So that just exonerates them, and it doesn't matter at that point, right? We didn't cheat, because if we cheated, we would have vacated wins. You destroyed evidence. You lied. You did not cooperate. Shut up. But anyway, before we get to Super Chats, Nevada, anything else for Justin? Justin, anything else for us before we hop in?
Do you guys want to tell? Oh, no, I forgot. This is a kid-friendly show. There's some more evidence that I'll probably be reporting on in a follow-up. The story gets a lot worse.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Let's just,
Y'all hear that? It's not over.
What do Hulk Hogan, Paris Hilton have in common? Do you know, like, what do Paris Hilton and Hulk Hogan have in common? Did they do anything that they were
sex tapes?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
He said,
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a component of this. Yeah, it's not great. It's
God.
not great. And yeah, and there's a non-consenting party involved. Not great. Yeah, that's actually another crime. Ooh, not great. Not great. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's not off the record. I can say that. Yeah, I'm still vetting. I mean, it's true. I already know that. I'm vetting some of the details around that, but that's a component of this. Yeah. There may be a U of M professor involved. That would be bad, wouldn't it be? Yeah. It just keeps coming, doesn't it? Yeah. Keep calling me a hack, guys. I'll keep whacking at your pinata.
Well, I'm getting things. They're all saying Justin does not have the balls to break the Blake Corum story. That's what I keep hearing.
It's not balls. I have the integrity not to break it without permission. You idiots!
They're like you saying he's not going to. They're like, I double dog dare you to do it, Justin.
It has nothing to do with. You know what? I have too much integrity for that, because I interviewed with Troy Lewis multiple times over the course of collectively combined probably about 2 hours in the last few days. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that I would love to metaphorically roll tape on and tell you he said, but I'm not going to do it, even though I think he's credibly accused of rape at minimum. And I don't think he's a great guy. I'm not even going to burn him. Why would I burn contacts and friends of mine and people that have been loyal to me over the years and reporting stuff? Because I'm scared? No, believe me, they should be thanking me and saying, thank God for Justin Spiro's integrity. Because you know what? I could say, you know what? I don't care about how it's going to hurt me in the future. I'm going to go out with a blaze of glory. No one will ever give me anything again, probably, because I'm going to torch multiple sources to do it. But I'm just going to light the match and blow up that entire run and then just go do my day job and walk my dog and play with my kids. I could do that in 2 seconds. And don't push me into a Joker mode where I betray a lot of my integrity and do that. Because for all the criticism they have of me, he won't publish it. That's the reason I told multiple people. Odell Bredham Jr., the biggest Michigan State account, Graham Couch, credentialed journalist for the Lansing State Journal. I've shown them the evidence. So if I get hit by a bus, they can say Justin Spiro wasn't lying. Go ask them. They've said it publicly. They've seen it. They know it's true. I have it. I just won't use it because I have credibility and integrity with my sources. But that doesn't mean there's not other ways to get it. That doesn't mean the sources won't change their mind. That doesn't mean I might not have a closed head injury, lose my mind, and say, you know what, F it, I'm going to publish it anyway. So be nice to me. Don't push me.
You read my mind, Justin. It popped in my head, Heath Ledger walking away from the hospital as it's blowing up.
No. You need to do the Joaquin Phoenix, like the dance down the stairs thing or something like that. With Justin's head on that head right there, just kind of moving on the terms of doing it down there.
Well, for the record, I would never burn a sword. But I mean, in this other case with the Corum stuff, there's, like I said, if you break the bond, then I don't owe you my half of the bond. You broke your half, and we're not quite there yet, but they're pushing it, and they know who they are, and I know they're watching. At least one of them is. But that aside, I'm never going to do that. I'm really not, but I am going to keep looking for other ways to get to it. And I check in with the sources on this information every 2 to 3 weeks and have for 2 years trying to poke and prod. And I was actually pretty close to getting permission to posting an audio tape at one point where there's discussions about the LLC and real estate. I'm not even going to get into it. It's hard evidence that other people have seen and vouch for me publicly. Okay. Credentialed members of the media vouching for me publicly that they've seen the evidence. It's ironclad. They're going down if this comes out. Be very, very careful about how much you tempt me to keep digging and pushing. I'm doing it anyway. Don't give me any extra fuel. You better butter me up. Tell me I'm the best juror. Maybe I'll get metaphorically fat and sassy instead of just literally fat and sassy. And I'll get lazy and stop pushing so hard. Because you know what? I've done one story after another. Stallions on the sideline, CMU sideline, mine. This one, mine. Shiron text message of Stallions, mine. Matt Weiss, mine. I even broke the news of Shiron Moore getting arrested first. How many vindicated stories do these people need to see before they actually believe me when I tell you I got something? And I'm telling you I have it. So be careful, because it would be wonderful and glorious. And I will throw a parade with you guys. Intrinsic will bring everybody if I wipe out that entire run, because it should be wiped out because he was ineligible and the school paid for a cheating scheme separate of that. Yep. Take your pick on which one you want to be the match that lights the flame that burns it down. Either one works.
Good Lord, that would be glorious. And justice will be served. We all know that. Even though we still, regardless if that ever happens, we all know outside of Ann Arbor, it's a fraudulent natty. Me and Nevada coined it as a fratty. It's fake. We don't care. Sports Talk J in Tennessee, Kangaroo Black in Alabama, fans all over the country, Justin. Because, listen, I run a social media page, got a lot of followers. I see a lot of fan bases. We are not the only ones. I'm telling y'all, we're not the only ones who bring up the cheating scandal.
Seriously. Nobody
does. Nobody. And they don't want to hear that, Justin. It's just Sparty and the Suckeyes. No, it's not. Okay. So anyway, either way, we know it's fake. Let's go ahead and get to these super chats. We got them stacking a little bit. Trick Daddy Doppler and Capital Nevada Buck. Thanks, Stilly Matt. So Justin, you're probably thinking like, what is Trick Daddy Doppler?
I don't know what that one's about.
So Stilly Matt, great brother. He's one of our wrenches here. And he comes up with nicknames for us almost every show. But the Trick Daddy name in Nevada is a goofy, man. He's he had me cracking up. So I made a meme because basically I talk about the weather all the time. I'm like the weatherman of the show, right? Jokingly. And so I made a meme with a rapper. I still forget the rapper I use. It's like a rapper in front of a weatherman map. And I put my head on it. and I was like, I can't remember who the rapper is. And then Nevada was like, my guess is Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy. Right? And so ever since then, it's been jokes about Trick Daddy because that was just hilarious. I did not expect him to say Trick Daddy. Or did I say Trick Daddy? I don't know.
I'm impressed that Nevada even knows who Trick Daddy is.
Oh, I'm versatile, man. I'm versatile.
I'm impressed.
Nevada surprises me sometimes. He'll come out the blue with a reference. I'm like, what? What you know about that?
I'll be throwing some Parliament Funkadelic Mothership Connection stuff on, and people was like, what the George Clinton?
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, Trick Daddy, that's like some Any Given Sunday like stuff. That's like my high school football locker room. That was a good stuff.
Yeah. He has some hits back in the day, for sure. All right, Jay Coburn, thanks for the 109. Justin Spiro is a legend. Fire emojis, except to Team Up North fans. Yeah, they hate him. And to answer your question, Justin, you're never going to be able to compile enough vindicating stories and receipts for some of these idiots. It doesn't matter. They're going to hate you. They're going to slander you. It doesn't matter. But such is life for you. Any response to that?
I just want to say thank you to him and Steely Matt, the one before him. Those guys, I'm always seeing them in my mentions, and good dudes. Yeah. I appreciate them. So thank you to both those guys.
Yeah, we got some great folk here at Buckeye Scoop, man.
I love the Buckeyes, man. Buckeyes are such good people. You guys are the Ohio Spartans, or maybe we're the Michigan Buckeyes. I don't know. Whatever it is. Yeah, you guys are good folk down there.
Yep, either way you want to say it, I'm with you, brother. Justin Spiro in the house. Welcome, sir. Steely Matt once again. Also, clearly you can see you're a fan favorite. Let's just say if you were walking into the facility on the red carpet, like this is basically like, the people on each side holding up the signs, like, here comes my Spiro or something, like, just making up songs and stuff.
You guys are too kind. All I do is say that you guys win all the time and that Michigan cheated. That you guys love me for it. I appreciate it, but come on. You guys are the best program in the last 30 years by far, and Michigan does cheat. I appreciate the compliments, but, I feel like it's more just everyone else doesn't give you guys your flowers.
Well, Nevada, I want you to respond to that. That's interesting. You said that again. Resident, born and raised here in Columbus, Buckeye fan from Pampers. I'll say this: yes, that's a part of it, Justin. But I don't think it's just that. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. For one, dealing with the Michigan stuff and getting to know you the past couple of years, we've seen your work, right? We've seen you work. We've seen your integrity. We've seen, hey, you just don't run with stuff and you're very careful. You're very integral. Like, we've seen that. We've seen Intrinsic up close. He's seen us up close. Vice versa. You know that we're not, regardless of what the haters say, you know how we rock. Okay. So that's another thing. Your stories. And not only that, the last thing I'll say, Justin, is that our local media, I got some people in the local media here in Columbus who I like a lot, who are great people, but we got some bums here too. And to me, the work that you have done to really call out the haters and the ridiculousness when it comes to the anti-Ohio State narratives has blown away everyone here in Columbus, in the Columbus media. The stuff that you've said, the stuff that you've done, the information you've put out there, the write-ups on your Twitter page about Tressel, about the program, about Ryan Day being a great coach. I can't even think of anyone outside of us, outside of Buckeye Scoop, who has done anything like that to really bring the facts and perspective about our program. And that's not saying every media person always has to be super, sunshine pumpy for Ohio State. But come on, dog. We don't give ourselves enough love and respect and our own. And the fact that you do that, to me, I believe is another big reason why we rock with you so heavy. Nevada, you got anything on that?
Well, I mean, look, and we have a lot of fun with Justin, but I mean, on a serious note, when we're going to get serious here, I think he's the best sports investigative journalist in the country right now. I mean, I mean that, without exception. And so I like smart people. I like diligent people. I like people that can back up what they say, dig for stories. And you are what I've always, in sports and in life, I say you are what your record says you are. And you've broken every big story on this. So at some point, when it's 105-0, at some point you've got to recognize, hey, that guy's pretty good at what he does. So that's where I'm at, and that's dead serious too. So that's my feelings on
I
it, Justin.
appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Yeah, thank you. I'm like Ohio State with the reporting. We're both number one in overall all-time record. It's like I don't understand why is it even necessary to defend Ohio State? Just look up the stats. They're the number one winning percentage. They're number one in everything but national championships, in which they're number two. That they even need defending is weird to me. Like, it's the numbers speak for themselves. But I do appreciate it. It's very kind. Thank you so much.
Real quick, it's funny, fellas. I was looking at my group chat with Intrinsic. He's already clipped this podcast. He's already clipped.
I could have told you that blindly. I knew that was
that boy be on it. He
hates Michigan more than I do. I mean, and that's saying something. That guy's crazy, and I say that with love. He's nuts. I mean, he's got me trumped. He makes me feel better about myself that I'm not that crazy, but I say that with love. Intrinsic.
Right. Now, he's excellent, man. He does a great job. All right.
He got screwed on that COI more than anybody else, because he's the only one, I'll humbly say, he's the only one that I thought did an even better job than I did predicting the punishments. And he goes he's the one that produced the grid and all that. He's like, here's exactly what the punishments are, as Justin and Buckeye Scoop have laid out. Here's the mandatory minimum punishment for that violation. And it was exactly what he said. The violations were what we said. The punishments that they were supposed to be are exactly what he said and predicted. Even the COI said that. And then they just add the paragraph at the end saying, but we don't want to punish the kids in the new era. And poor Intrinsic is mocked for being a hack. And he had done he was talking to lawyers. I mean, he was impressed. Man. He was impressing even me. And I'm a crazy person that does more research than anybody. Even I was like, damn, this guy's kind of into this. This is great. It was great analysis. And not only does he not get his flowers, he gets mocked. Like the poor Intrinsic. I mean, for the record, anyone with any knowledge of what actually happened, Intrinsic nailed it. Trust me. It's not his fault they went rogue. Even they said they should have listened to Intrinsic. They just didn't.
Come on, man. Preach. Real quick. I'm sorry. Real quick. You just really set me on fire, bro. Intrinsic, I know you watching right now. Ask Intrinsic. I told him this, Justin, in a conversation with him. I said, and of course, you know, we were mocked too. Like, oh, Buckeye Scoop was no, like, you idiot. They cheated. They went rogue. We had this nailed, like, because we were working in concert with Intrinsic, like, steadily. And so it was frustrating, obviously, with all the work that we put in. But I told Intrinsic, I said, you know what? With all this, I'm salty that you're not getting your flowers. I use the word flowers. Ask him. I basically, what you just said is what I told him. Like, bro, like, I was ready to really celebrate his work. You know what I'm saying? Once everything came down, we lost Nevada. We'll get him back. And so it's funny that you said that, because you're right. He did an excellent job. Nobody else was really nailing down to the T of what was according to the bylaws and what they should have gotten, and what even the COI said they should have gotten. And so for him to get robbed like that was definitely very, very frustrating. But great point, man. Great point. It's you back, Nevada.
It's the most perplexing document of all time, because if you read that document in the COI decision, it is the most damning document ever. And then it just ends with this like fart. I mean, it's
right.
Kind of a myth that they got off with nothing. It's like the highest institutional fine ever for an actual football thing. It's the most show causes in history. Like, it's kind of I'm sorry. The fact that Harbaugh didn't want to be there anyway, so it didn't matter, doesn't lessen the fact of the disgrace of the penalty. Like, oh, he didn't even want to coach there anymore. It's like, what does that have to do with what the fact is? He can't. It symbolically that he's banned, not for a year, for 15 years. He's going to be like dead before he's even allowed to coach again if he doesn't take care of himself. So it's like, what are we even talking about here? And poor Intrinsic. It just, what I said to Michigan fans after that was, you know what? Congratulations on your guilty verdict. Because that was a guilty. Congratulations on the guilty verdict. That document wasn't an exoneration. No. That was an excoriation. That was a complete annihilation. And they just kind of, wussed out at the end. But whatever. Sorry, I digress.
Nevada, we lost you for a second. Did you want to respond to what we said?
No, I said many times, I felt like the reporting that everybody did on this was the best work that I've ever seen. And to have it just kind of snatched away on the next to the last line of the CI was a little disheartening, but I'm proud of the reporting. I'm proud of the digging. I'm proud of my sourcing on that. Certainly I was not, Intrinsic, Justin Spiro, all those guys were great, but we had some really good sources on this stuff. And it ended up, we gave them the bowl ban anyway. We delivered the bowl ban with that 27-9 win. And they go off to the irrelevant bowl. So we gave it to them anyway. So it didn't really matter at the end of the day.
Well, and nobody taking it seriously for the rest of the time is its own punishment. Like the idea that that's not a punishment is crazy. The Super Bowl ends and they are rushing the Twitter a month ago. Because Mike McDonald, who was there in 2021, the year that they lost to Mel Tucker, by the way, they're rushing to Twitter to say a defensive coordinator that was there for like 4 months, he has vindicated the entire run, including 2 years after he was gone, because they want, like, could you imagine watching the Super Bowl in a couple years from now and some Buckeye assistant, not even the head coach, a Buckeye assistant wins, like a former Buckeye assistant wins, and you guys have to rush to Twitter. The first thing you think of after the Super Bowl, a couple years after your national title, is, it vindicated your title. Like, it kind of ruins your life a little bit.
For sure.
Like, they have to defend this. What other national title has to be defended on a daily basis? Don't tell me that's not a penalty. I see them flailing. I know it is.
Oh yeah, we all do. They try to put on a face like they don't care and whatever, but they care. Clearly,
they're bad actors, because boy, do they care. I mean, they're showing up at my house threatening me because they care so much.
That still amazes me, the level of ridiculousness with that, man. Good Lord. Yeah, more praise and love. Hats off to Mr. Spiro. Thank you, Studley Budley, for the 199. Jay Coburn, thanks for the 199. Justin Spiro for 2028 president. Man, they want you to run the country. Let's get it then. I'll vote for you.
I'm not worthy. Can I run on your ticket? Can I be your VP, BMOs?
Hey, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Vote for us. Ain't that what they do? Throw the peace signs up.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll run second to you. I'll be like the sort of like the weird character. You're more grounded than I am. I don't know if although we got a character in there right now, so I don't know. Maybe I'd be all right. No, thank you. I appreciate that.
I can be entertaining, and I can debate, and I can. I'm independent though. I'm not like any side. I'm very nonpartisan. So
You're
maybe
fun when you get mad though. Like I kind of want to like hire someone to come in here and like push your buttons or something in the chat and piss you off, because you've had like 2 rants, like rants where you were actually like visibly mad since I've known you, and they were awesome. Like I like when you get pissed off, but I don't want to be the one to piss you off, but I kind of hope someone else does, because it's very entertaining. I'm a hothead. I'm like ranting every show.
You should have heard him after the Flaming Hot Cheetos lost their youth basketball game this weekend.
He doesn't. You got to tell him. I coach a team of 9 and 10-year-olds, which includes my son, and I've been sick. I've been fighting this flu. I'm still not 100%, but I was very upset that we lost, because I felt like as a coach, if I was there, because we have another coach, the head coach of the team, and we both coach. I feel like, man, if I was there, I could have helped us win. I'm a competitor, man, and I played sports. I'm maniacal when it comes to stuff like that. But no, it's funny, Justin. Like when you get me going, I get going. So it's funny. At least it's entertaining.
You lost a 9 and 10-year-old game, and you were mad about that?
Oh yes.
Have you considered perhaps like advanced scouting, like dressing up in a costume and spyglasses and sneaking on like your opponent next week, maybe going on their sideline and trying to like steal some stuff?
No, Justin. This is the guy that dresses up as a 10-year-old boy and goes out there and plays and dominates out there during things. So, like he's not above.
Too.
He's not above any of that.
I'm not
stuff
above
right
anything.
there.
I can get my Connor Styles on.
No 10-year-old child can guard you there, B.
I have a coupon code for those Ray-Bans that record if you want. It's only like 5% because I don't have clout like you guys do. But I'll tell you, if you want that 5% Ray-Ban coupon code, just let me know.
Shoot it to the group text.
Don't worry, nothing will happen. I'm sure all the wins will stay. You may have to pay a little fine or whatever that someone else will pay. Won't even come out of your pocket. And, we're just going to pretend that I don't have receipts of Tim Smith paying for this whole thing, or a large part of it. We're going to pretend that I don't have receipts of conversations between Blake Corum and Connor Stallions and talking about setting up a real estate deal. We'll just pretend I don't have any of that stuff. And they can pretend you weren't on the sideline spying on those 10-year-olds. Okay, let's we're all good. It all count. None of this. It doesn't matter that it was funded by the school for 3-year cheating scheme that for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and it was elaborate and took hours and hours to operate each week. And why would you do that if it yielded zero advantage at all? Forget the fact that they won games in 21 and 22 by 1 point, by 2 points, by 4 points, by 6 in a scheme that every coach, 100% of the ones polled, said was worth at least 3 to 7 points. Just throw it all up. It's all legit. It no problem. Just cheat your balls off. Who cares? It's all good. You're a loser if you even think that matters. Sure, they spent over $100,000 over the course of 3 years funding the thing, and they covered it up, and they're lying about it, and they got rid of the guy who funded it the second it came out on Yahoo. It's no problem. You're the loser if you care. And if you get busted spying on the 10-year-olds, just say, it doesn't make a difference. No competitive advantage.
You know what, Justin? All of that doesn't matter. This will be in the bottom of the Olentangy River after I commit my crimes. They will not be able to find the evidence, and I will ride off into the sunset as a glorious dominator of the 10-year-olds in my town. Amen.
I once received an offer to, if I found the pond, to fund the dive. That's a true story. I was offered that if I can like identify the pond that Stallions dumped this in, that they'll fund the dive. Like they'll pay professional divers to go. That's a true story that I was offered that. And I said, I don't know which pond it was. So
we know what pond it was, Justin.
It was Blonde Pond. Yeah. What if he did do it in Blonde Pond? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that's a great place to destroy evidence. There's lots of white girls down at the bottom of Blonde Pond.
Oh my God.
With Chiron's toes in their mouths.
Lord.
My friends are just My friends will leave me voice notes the last like 24 hours, and I'm in like 2 different group chats that love the Shiron stuff. Like they can't believe it, and they'll impersonate him. Yo, you up? Need to get. I just can't even say it in front of me. It's just like, how do you send this to someone? How do you send this to anybody, let alone a person that reported their rape to you? I was like, what world are we living in? I don't know, but he's a Michigan guy. He didn't do anything wrong, and he didn't delete those texts. He actually deleted those texts because he was so appalled at what Connor Stallions did to these kids. That's why he deleted them. It wasn't because he was destroying evidence. It wasn't because he was talking about sign stealing and, hey, can we meet up on the 6th to discuss that scouting report? No, it wasn't that. He felt bad. He's a man of integrity, even though he's cheating on his wife with half the population of Guam. Doesn't matter. No. It's like, I'm so sick of these people. Like, at least own it, okay? Like, Urban was kind of a prick, but at least he owned that he was a prick. D'Antonio, kind of an ass, like in a good way. He owned that, okay? These people act like they're above us. They're 20 stories below.
Great point. You're right. Urban was definitely prickish, but he owned it, and he knows who he is, and nowhere near. But we've been the scandalous.
He's number one to me.
You said what?
He's the GOAT. He's number one to me. He's even ahead of Saban, because Saban couldn't win at Michigan State. Urban could win anywhere.
Fair point. All right, Stilly Matt shouting out the haters who watch this show. It's just funny, Justin. We got a lot of hate watchers and that hate our show, but they know everything we say. Bozo Brigade, don't forget to like the show. That's right, haters. Like the show on your way out, bums. All right. And we got some butter knife jokes. Stilly Matt, thanks for the $1.99. The butter knife bandit keeps on giving. Quit buttering him up, Stilly. Cars Washington, thanks for the $1.99. New Ann Arbor pizza, Darko Deluxe. Interesting. That actually sounds delicious. I would try that.
Yeah, I think you got to sleep with a Michigan coach to get that perk. To
get
a pizza named after you. Did you guys catch the part about Shiron Moore contacting the alleged rape victim while he was evading police?
Well, I heard it was during the evasion. Yeah, that's what I heard. That was nutty.
Hey, do you want to hear something crazy? I can't prove it, but I'm vetting it right now, so this is not proven, but I think it's true. I think Shiron's contacting her today.
About
the alleged victim.
Do you think he's contacting her in response to your story?
We're seeing messages that we believe are him, and we're vetting it.
Oh my goodness.
We're vetting it right now. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
I wonder what his wife thinks about all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, honey,
what more evidence does she need? Does she want? She can call me if she wants. I'll sit down with her. Yeah. I mean, I had that offer from one of the people involved in this story. They were ready to fly to Detroit and meet me man to man to show me the truth of this story. I guess that meeting never happened. I was up for it, but
you need it. You've got B. Moses now can do a table read at any time. He can play the part of Shiron Moore and can read these things. Like,
I'll try not to throw up. If you read these messages, I'm gonna piss on your eye, and I'm not like,
you up, baby? Like, come over here. Come over here, baby.
How about the fact that he threatened to kill her? He threatened to kill her. Who threatens to kill somebody? He threatened to kill her because she went to Wisconsin with friends on a girls' trip, and he threatened to kill her. I mean, granted, going on a girls' trip, that's pretty bad. I guess that's like probably warrants a death sentence. But like, what's wrong with this guy? You can talk about, like, I wasn't in the room. I don't know what happened with the rape allegation, but what you can see in the messages, like, and like some people have said, like, oh, well, what about her messages back? I've seen a lot more than's been published. There's nothing like that's being hidden. At no point have I seen anything that's saying, like, hey, please say that to me, or anything like that to me. And in some cases, the exact contrary. And this reporting's not done yet, but I'll just say the judicial system is going to play out. I do believe in the presumption of innocence, but I know what I think, and I presented the allegations, I think, in a fair way. And he had an opportunity. I gave him the same opportunity I gave her. He had an open runway to say whatever he wants, send me whatever he wanted. I told him, I'll put whatever you want in that story, like evidence-wise. Didn't do it. Promised he would. Didn't do it.
And there's more coming. Good Lord. Stilly Matt, shout out to my wrenches. Busy night. Yeah, I would imagine y'all got some trolls and idiots you got to, police. Let me see. Gio did last super chat here. Thanks for the 5. Kyle Whittingham has to have some kind of angst after taking this dumpster fire job at Scumbag. How could he not? Shaking my head. Justin, what do you think about that? Do you think Kyle Whittingham has instant regret, or he just like, you know what, let me just hopefully get through this storm and then I'll coach? Or like, how do you think he feels?
He is a good coach. The problem, I don't think he's blindsided because he stepped in with eyes open, and things could get worse for sure. But they're already such a cesspool as it is. If I were a Michigan fan, I would be a little alarmed at a guy that openly said, yeah, like at his introductory press conference, I thought I was done. There's only 1 or 2 jobs I would have kept coaching for, and this is one of them. They took that as like a compliment, like a good thing. I go, he really loves Michigan, even though he had to like pretend to hate you guys, which was a cringeworthy moment. I guess I hate Ohio State. Ugh.
That was terrible. Yeah.
That is, yeah, I guess. It's like, yeah, this will go on Rich Rod 2.0, although he's still a better coach than Rich Rod. But if it were me, I don't know if I want a coach that was like, oh, I'm done. I don't want to coach. But like if Michigan calls, or in my case, if Michigan State calls, like I don't think that's a good thing personally. I want a guy that's like, I'm burning the wind. Like my coach, whatever you think of him, Pat Fitzgerald, that guy's ready to go through a wall. He's like pissed off. If Toledo had been his only offer, he would have gone to Toledo. If Akron had been his only offer, if Eastern Michigan, like he wants to coach. He's ready to burn some people down and. Yeah, he's mad about how things ended in Northwestern. He's fired up. That's the kind of guy I want. So he is a good coach. I don't think he's a fit. I don't. And I don't think he has much fire left. I mean, the guy told you he would have retired. He thought he was done. So I would have only, he is his quote. I'm not saying it. I would have only taken 1 or 2 jobs in the country, and this is one of them. They celebrated that. That was the first time I said, oh boy, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, Nevada, what you think about that?
Well, one, I'm in terms of Whittingham, I've always questioned. I mean, I've talked to, I've got some really good Utah insiders that don't think he has anything left in the tank. They're like, he wasn't the same guy the last 5 years that he was, 10, 15 years ago. So we'll see on that. As for Pat Fitzgerald, I am all in on Pat Fitzgerald being a great coach at Michigan. I am the biggest Pat Fitzgerald stan in the world. I think he's going to be terrific. I think he's going to do a great job there. And I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm not excited that Michigan State's going to be better because Michigan State has absolutely confounded us throughout the years. But I just like Pat Fitzgerald, and I just think he's a perfect fit for that program. And that does make me happy that the good things are happening to good people.
I appreciate it. I wanted him too. He was one of the ones I was pushing, and I think he's going to do great. And come on, give us a break. Yeah, we confounded you over a decade ago. These games are like 35-0 in the middle of the second quarter and have been for a decade. I thought you guys said you liked me. Can I at least have like a 3-point deficit at halftime?
I'm still in therapy over 98, man. So
yeah, bro. 98.
98. I'm still in therapy
2015.
Oh my God, Prescott Burgess and Bill Burke or whomever at the court. I mean, like
Plaxico Burress.
I was at the 2015 game. I was worried about getting out of there alive. Your fans were like stunned and mad. And that the Ezekiel Elliott press conference after is one of the funniest things. Like, I told them they got to run these plays. They did not call those plays. I was like,
that was. You talking about Urban? You talking about Urban? That was not his shiniest moment of coaching. That was probably one of his worst, if not his worst, coached games that I can remember. But that's a whole nother pod. But I'm just saying, like that.
I'll do 2 hours on the 2015 game if you'd like.
Oh man! Holy crap!
And what was the backup quarterback's name again? What was the starting was Connor
Cook was our starter.
Connor Cook.
And
who was
Damian Terry and Tyler O'Connor were like kind of 1A and 1B backups. So we didn't really have like second, third string. They both played. So they played like almost. Yeah, O'Connor played a little bit more, but they split duty. And I mean, they were not good like in their careers, but they were effective that day. But you guys couldn't do anything with the ball. I mean, the one touchdown you scored, it's because we muffed the punt on our own.
Why are we even going to this? Why are we even talking about this?
We talked about it for an hour and a half.
This was such a great pod. This was such an uplifting pod.
That's abandoned ship.
We haven't beat you since. Have we even been within 2 touchdowns at halftime of you since?
Seriously, This reminds me of my old partner used to say, it's like you have this great chocolate sundae. It's got nuts and whipped cream and nuts, and it's got this little piece of dog dew right at the end of it. You don't want to eat the whole sundae. Now it's like you just dropped this little piece of dog dew on this whole beautiful pod right now.
How much you've beaten our brains in for like 11 games in a row. What do you want?
I said 98, man. 98. I will never get over 98. And
you know what? You want to trade? You can have the 2015 win. Can I get all your success since 98?
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
All right, so listen, great show, guys. No, but listen, we get it. We love you, man. We appreciate you. Real quick, when stars align, listen, you might see me this weekend. This is one of our great Buckeye Scoop family members, Justin. She works at Cheesecake Factory, and I'm craving some cheesecake. So you might see me, and she hooked me up with some fire hot chocolate. You might see me this weekend, stars align. I've been sick. I haven't really had nothing sweet. I'm like ready to get out this weekend and get going. Just a heads up. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Excellent show. I've been waiting to get you back on here, Justin. We always love you and appreciate you, brother. And of course, we'll be waiting for more information that comes out. And please, for those watching, piss him off so he can get this LLC stuff out. Please. Nevada, any last words before we hop off?
Nah, just Justin, thank you so much for your gracious time here with us. 90 minutes. I was good and happy. We got 9, so we got 90. So I feel like we hit the jackpot, even with your 98 and 2013 and 2015 slander. But not that I'm counting those years or anything else like that. But no, we just great reporting, great job, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
You bet. A pleasure to talk to the champions, of the country in the last 30 years, the #1 program, members of that great institution. I love the Buckeye people and great Midwest folk, honest people down there. You guys are good people. I love the Buckeyes, and I might be joining your brotherhood here in another year. I gotta accept it. I don't know if I'm gonna go, but yeah, it might be a Buckeye here pretty soon. We'll see. But good people, and appreciate you having me.
All right, man. Keep us posted on that development. But yeah, much love. Peace, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Until next time, peace. Go Bucks and go green, I guess. I'll show you.
Go green.
Go green.
Patty Fitz.
All right. Peace.